Father, there's something quiet about this moment, even if the world around me is already starting to move, even if my thoughts are already trying to run ahead of me. I pause here, just for a second, and I let myself breathe. I don't rush this. I don't have to. Because somehow, in a way I can't always explain, I know I'm not here by accident. This moment, this prayer, it didn't just happen randomly. You see me. You know exactly what I'm carrying into this day, even the things I haven't been able to put into words yet. And maybe, just maybe, you gently led me here so I wouldn't walk into this day alone. So I slow down. I let my shoulders drop a little. I stop trying to hold everything together for just a moment, and I turn my attention toward you. Not with perfect words, not with polished thoughts, just honestly, just as I am right now. Because the truth is, some mornings feel heavier than others. Some days begin with a quiet weight already sitting on my chest. Responsibilities, expectations, conversations I'm not sure how to handle, decisions I don't feel ready to make. And even when everything looks fine on the outside, there's still that undercurrent, that subtle restlessness, that wondering about what's coming next. But right here, in this moment, I remember something simple and steady. I don't have to carry today by myself. I don't have to figure everything out before I even begin. I can invite you into this day, into every part of it, even the ordinary moments, even the small decisions, even the things that seem too insignificant to mention. Because nothing is too small for you, and nothing about my life is overlooked. So I open this day to you. Not just the big things, not just the obvious concerns, but everything. The conversations I'll have, the thoughts that will pass through my mind, the emotions that might rise unexpectedly, the moments where I feel confident, and the moments where I feel unsure. I place it all in your hands, even the parts I'm still holding tightly without realizing it. And I admit something quietly. I don't always know what I'm doing. I don't always feel ready for what's ahead. There are times when I wish I had more clarity, more certainty, more control. But control has never really given me peace, not the kind that lasts. And so, little by little, I loosen my grip. I stop trying to force the day into something predictable, and instead, I trust that you are already present in every moment I haven't reached yet. Walk with me today. Stay close to my thoughts. When my mind starts to spiral into worry or overthinking, gently pull me back. Remind me that I don't have to live 10 steps ahead. I can be here. I can take this day one moment at a time. When I feel pressure building, help me breathe again. When I feel rushed, remind me that peace is still available, even in the middle of a busy schedule. And as I move through this day, shape my heart in quiet ways. Help me respond with patience instead of frustration, even when things don't go as planned. Help me listen more deeply, not just to words, but to what people are really feeling underneath. Let kindness come naturally, not forced, not rehearsed. just real. Because sometimes the smallest moments carry the most weight, and I don't want to miss them. I also bring the hidden parts of my heart to you, the worries I try to ignore, the thoughts I push away because they feel too heavy, too uncertain. You already see them, so I don't have to pretend. There are things I'm still trying to figure out. There are questions without clear answers. There are situations that feel unfinished, unresolved. And if I'm honest, that uncertainty can be exhausting. But even here, especially here, I choose to trust you. Not perfectly, not without hesitation, but sincerely. I trust that you are working in ways I can't always see. I trust that even delays have meaning and even silence has purpose. I trust that I am not forgotten in the middle of my waiting. So I release the need to have everything settled right now. I release the pressure to understand every outcome. I let go, just a little more than I did yesterday. And in that space, I invite your peace to settle in, not as a distant idea, but as something real, something steady, something I can actually feel anchoring me. Stay with me through every part of this day, in the quiet moments and the loud ones, in the moments that feel easy and the ones that don't. Let me become more aware of your presence, not just in extraordinary moments, but in the ordinary rhythm of life, in a breath, in a pause, in a simple sense of calm that doesn't make logical sense but is there anyway. And if I start to drift, if I get caught up in stress or distraction, gently bring me back again. You don't rush me. You don't shame me. You just meet me, over and over, with quiet patience. And I'm grateful for that in ways I don't always say out loud. So this is how I begin. Not perfectly prepared, not completely certain, but open, willing, and not alone. As this day unfolds, I want to stay aware of the small ways you are already at work around me. Not just in big answers or dramatic moments, but in the quiet details I might normally overlook. The way something works out at just the right time. The way a conversation shifts in an unexpected direction. The way a moment of calm finds me in the middle of everything. Help me notice those things. Help me recognize that you are present, even when life feels ordinary. There are people I'll cross paths with today. Some I know well, some I may only encounter briefly. And I don't always know what they're carrying either. So soften my heart. Let me move through this day with a kind of quiet awareness that everyone is fighting something. Everyone is holding something unseen. Help me be gentle in the way I speak and thoughtful in the way I respond. Not because I have to be perfect, but because I want to reflect something deeper, something steady and good. And in those moments where I feel misunderstood, or when things don't go the way I hoped, give me the grace to pause before reacting. Sometimes my first response isn't my best one. Sometimes frustration rises quickly, and I feel it before I can even stop it. But even then, you are there, right in that split second. So teach me how to slow that moment down. Teach me how to choose peace. even when it would be easier to choose tension. I also think about the responsibilities waiting for me today, the tasks, the obligations, the things that need my attention. Some of them feel manageable. Others feel like too much. And there's that quiet pressure to get everything right, to not fall behind, to not let anyone down. But I don't want to carry that pressure the whole day. I don't want to move through everything with a tight chest and a restless mind. So I place my work in your hands. Every task, every decision, every effort. I ask for clarity where I feel unsure. I ask for focus when my mind starts to scatter. I ask for strength when I begin to feel tired before the day is even halfway through. And more than anything, I ask for a steady pace, not rushed, not frantic, but grounded. Remind me that I can only do one thing at a time, and that's enough. If something doesn't go as planned, help me not to spiral into frustration. If I make a mistake, remind me that it's not the end of everything. If I feel behind, help me resist the urge to panic. Instead, let me return to that quiet place inside where I know you are still with me, still guiding me, still holding everything together even when I feel like I'm not. And for the moments that feel heavy, the ones I'm already anticipating, the ones I can't avoid, go before me. Prepare the way in ways I can't see yet. Soften what feels hard. Bring peace into what feels tense. Give me the right words when I don't know what to say. And when silence is better than words, give me the wisdom to recognize that too. I also lift up the people I love, the ones who are on my heart, even if I don't say their names out loud right now. You know them. You see what they're going through. You understand their needs better than I ever could. So I place them in your care. Protect them. Guide them. Bring them peace in the places where they feel restless. Bring them comfort where they feel uncertain. And remind them, just like you remind me, that they are not alone. There's something calming about knowing I don't have to carry everyone and everything. I can care deeply. I can love fully. But I don't have to hold the weight of it all. That was never mine to carry in the first place. So I release that too. Not out of indifference, but out of trust. And as I continue into this day, I want to stay connected to you in a quiet, ongoing way. Not just in this moment of prayer, but in the middle of everything, in between conversations, in the small pauses, in the moments where I would normally rush ahead without thinking. Let there be a gentle awareness that I can turn to you at any time, without needing perfect words, without needing to stop everything completely. Just a simple, quiet turning of my heart. When anxiety tries to creep in, and I know it will at times, meet me there. Don't let it take over my thoughts. Don't let it define how I move through this day. Instead, anchor me again in something deeper, something steadier. Remind me that I am held, that I am guided, that I am not walking into uncertainty alone. And if there are moments of joy today, even small ones, Help me receive them fully. Sometimes I move too quickly to notice them, or I brush them aside without really feeling them. But I don't want to live that way. I want to be present. I want to recognize the good, even when life isn't perfect. Because those moments matter. They're reminders that light still exists, even in the middle of everything else. So I step into this day with open hands, not gripping tightly, not bracing for everything to go wrong, but trusting, even if it's a quiet, fragile kind of trust. Trust that you are already ahead of me. Trust that you will meet me in every moment. Trust that no matter what happens, I don't have to lose my sense of peace. And if I do lose it for a while, if I get caught up, if I forget, if I feel overwhelmed, gently bring me back again. You always do. As the day continues to unfold, I know there may be moments when my energy starts to fade, when the calm I feel right now feels a little further away, when the noise of everything around me grows louder again. And in those moments, help me remember this quiet place. Help me remember that I can return to you at any time, even in the middle of a busy moment, even when I only have a few seconds to breathe and refocus. Sometimes I forget how close you really are. I start to think I have to figure everything out on my own, or that I need to push through everything with my own strength. But that kind of thinking only leaves me more tired, more overwhelmed. So I gently shift my heart again. I let go of the idea that I have to carry this day alone, and I remind myself that your presence isn't distant. It's right here, steady and unchanging, even when my emotions rise and fall. If I feel discouraged today, meet me in that place. When something doesn't go the way I hoped, or when I feel like I'm not doing enough, quiet that voice inside me that tries to tear me down. Replace it with something softer, something true. Remind me that I am still growing, still learning, still being shaped in ways I may not fully understand yet. I don't have to be perfect to be held. I don't have to get everything right to still be guided. And when I find myself overthinking, replaying conversations, worrying about what might happen next, imagining outcomes that haven't even happened, gently interrupt those thoughts. Not harshly, not forcefully, just enough to bring me back to what is real right now. Bring me back to this breath, this moment, this step in front of me, because so much of my stress comes from trying to live in a future that hasn't arrived yet. So I choose to be here, fully here, trusting that when the future does arrive, you'll be there too, just as present as you are right now. There may be things today that stretch me, situations that ask more from me than I feel ready to give. In those moments, give me strength that doesn't come from pressure, but from peace. A quiet strength, the kind that doesn't rush or panic, but stands steady even when things feel uncertain. Let that strength guide my decisions, my reactions, my words. And if I feel alone at any point today, even if I'm surrounded by people, remind me that I'm not truly alone. There's a difference between being around others and feeling deeply seen, and sometimes that gap can feel heavy. But you see me fully. You understand what I'm feeling even when I can't explain it clearly. And there's comfort in that. A deep, quiet comfort that settles beneath everything else. I also think about the parts of my life that are still unfinished. The things I've been waiting on. The answers that haven't come yet. The doors that haven't opened. It's easy to feel restless in those spaces. To question what's taking so long. To wonder if anything is really moving at all. But even in the waiting, you are working. Even in the silence, something is being prepared. So I choose patience, even when it's difficult. I choose trust, even when I don't have all the evidence I want. I choose to believe that what is meant for me won't be lost, and what is not meant for me doesn't need to be forced. As the hours pass, help me stay grounded in that quiet trust. Not a loud, overwhelming confidence, just a steady, gentle knowing that I am being guided step by step, that I don't have to rush ahead or fall behind, that I can simply walk forward, one moment at a time, with you. And when the day begins to come to a close, when I start to look back on everything that happened, help me release it all back into your hands. The things that went well, the things that didn't, the things I wish I had done differently. I don't want to carry any of it into the night. I don't want to replay everything over and over in my mind. I just want to rest. So I let it go. I let the day be what it was. I trust that whatever needs to be corrected can be corrected. Whatever needs to be continued can be continued. And whatever needs to be released can be released. And now, as I come back to this quiet space again, I feel something settle within me. Not because everything is perfect, not because all my questions are answered, but because I know I am not alone in any of it. You were with me at the beginning of this day. You stayed with me through every moment, and you will continue to be with me in whatever comes next. So I rest in that truth. I rest in your presence. I rest in the quiet assurance that I am held, that I am guided, that I am cared for in ways I don't always see but can still trust. And before I close this prayer, I gently think of others who might need this same peace. People who are carrying their own quiet burdens. People who are searching for a moment like this, even if they don't know how to ask for it. If this prayer brought even a small sense of calm, a small sense of reassurance, I pray it reaches them too. And if it feels right, I share it, not out of obligation, but out of a quiet hope that someone else might find comfort here as well. So I step forward into the rest of this day, or into rest itself, with a softer heart, a clearer mind, and a deeper sense of peace. And I hold on to this simple truth. I am not walking alone. Amen.